going live.
Yeah, so and so I said to President Biden, I said, well, you look, it's just the way it is. So,
I do like that plant in the background.
Good.
Oh dear. So
we're live then. Oh, we're live. Sorry, I didn't realise.
Yes, we are. We are live.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay. So we need to pay attention, don't we? Or I do anyway.
We do. So we are in week 4. Are we in week 4?
Let's have a look at
in week 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it says so on the slide.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. It's which this little program we've developed seems to be flying by, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it does anyway.
It does, except on a Wednesday when I have to stay late in work for it. And then I'm going, like that, looking at my watch.
So we're in week 4, and we'll just do a little quick recap. That yellow is quite bright, isn't it? Creating and grading content.
It is, yeah. Certainly wake you up.
Yeah, definitely.
So week 4, creating and grading content. That's what we're going to be talking about this week.
That's right.
But what have we covered already?
Yes. Tell them what you've told them.
Indeed.
Like that. So in week 1, we did our audience and who they were. And if you missed that, you're very welcome to scoot back 2-3 weeks ago and watch the live. And there's some questions in there that will help you develop that audience. And then we did marketing and communications. And we kind of took the top and bottom, the goal and the action plan. What's the business goal and what's the action plan? How are you going to take steps towards that? And then last week we did website types and platforms. So this image was kind of depicting how everything fits together in the jigsaw puzzle that is the Tinternet.
Yep. You're very good, man.
Thanks very much. And I want my own radio show.
I can get you that radio show if you like.
Can you?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, and so this week Neil's going to take a lead.
Oh yeah, sorry. Do you want me to start talking now? So this week we're going to be talking about content, different types of content for your website, preparing that content, discussing that content, and work environments, as Mandy would put it. Where are you saving your content to? So next slide, please, Mandy. Brilliant. So what we're going to different types of content. So what is your content for? Your content's for your website. And there are different types of content that you'll be putting on your website. So obviously you're going to be wanting to put on your story. So there's written content. You'll need to prepare that for your website. Other types of content could well be pictures, photographs. If you're a professional, which you are, you may well want a kind of photograph of yourself. And it might be that it might just be, depending on who you are and the way that you are, you might just go, actually, just a nice relaxed photograph of me sitting there with my headphones on, that's fine. Or you might decide, well, actually, this is a bit more formal, and I want something where I'm looking a little bit more formal for my practice. And again, that's very much going to depend on your audience, kind of photographs that you might go for. But also, not just photographs of you, but other photographs for your website depicting the kind of work that you do. And they might be images of, it might be images, the old couch kind of routine. You might go for those kind of images. It's been a long time since I've done anything like that. But then it might also be, the outside of the building where your practice is taking place. It might be other images, very, uplifting images, bunches of flowers, walks by the beach, sunsets, etc. So think about the kinds of images that you would want to have, or that your audience would want to see on your website, and how is it you can build those with your story and build those into something which are going to really help sell your services.
Yes.
Yep.
I was just going to say that, you know, when I started to think about images for my website, I used a lot of nature ones at first.
Yeah.
Not because I do walk and talk therapy, which is a growing area, but because I'm really comfortable in nature. That's where I kind of ground myself. And I realised that, you know, not having my face on the website, when you know, we are selling ourselves here, aren't we? Hi, Marion, by the way, nice to see you on the comments. Not having my face on was a bit of a sticking point, and so for me, I kind of had to get over that icky feeling of putting myself out there, if you like. And I used a local photographer, so I thought, if I go and take a load of selfies, I'm never going to be happy with them. I'm going to get somebody professional to do it. I'm going to pay a little bit of money as an investment. And she came back with, you know, 25 shots of me prancing around the park, because that's what I wanted to achieve, something outdoor. And then for me, it was a case of, well, I've got to use these now because I've paid for them.
Yeah,
so I felt compelled to use them. And it's great to have, you know, it is great to have my face on there, because people can go on the website and they can see who they're going to deal with. And such a big part of our work is relational. It's about, you know, the people that we're working with, what they look like, what you feel like when you see them, that really visual part of it. So it's worth investing, I think.
It is, and it's. I mean, I'm you know, I'm terrible because I hate. I mean, this kind of thing. I hate video, and I hate standing on stage, and I hate presenting in workshops, and I hate it all. I can do it, but I just hate it all. And the same goes for photographs. So most of the photographs of me are actually just taken randomly by people, and then I'll just use them. Because I don't like posing, hard to believe, but I don't like posing for various different photographs. So yeah, it can be difficult sometimes just getting over that. You just need to get over it and get over yourself and just kind of go, okay, yeah, no. Especially with your profession, it is very you know, relational.
Yeah,
I would like to see the person that I'm talking to and know what they look like. Just to see, you know, do they have a nice friendly face? Am I going to be able to talk to these people? Anyway, so moving on. So written content, he says, pointing at the screen that you can't see. Written content, photographs, other types of content you might wish to have on your website. Video.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll go back.
Video. So video is really popular on some sites. It can be, video can be very easy to do, but it can be quite hard to do well. If you're looking to do something like, you know, a 2 to 3 minute video, then it's very easy to record that on your phone. You can edit it using one of the a phone app of some sort, and then best bet is actually emailing it to yourself, so then you've got it on your computer, and then it's easier to get access to rather than trying to send something from your phone to a website or something. But if you're just thinking about doing one particular video, if you're thinking about doing a series of videos, then definitely think about using something like uploading that video to, say, YouTube. And then doing a series, if you're doing a series of videos and you're going to make that part of your content on your website, maybe something that people could purchase and watch online, then you can do that. You can include those videos on YouTube, make them private, and then have them listed on your website. And the reason, if you are using YouTube, one of the good things about it is that people will be able to find your YouTube channel, and then they'll be guided back to your website after watching the video. Anything else on videos, man?
No, well, I mean, I'll throw some stats out there. I think, Facebook, particularly if that's a channel that you're looking to use along with your website, Facebook loves video, and so does Google in terms of rankings. So if you've got a directory profile or a website or a Facebook page, and you can put video on there, even if it's once a week, once a fortnight, something like that, that's going to push your site up the rankings, because Google recognizes that now so many people prefer watching a 1 minute or 2 minute video than reading a really long blog article, or you know what I mean. Video is really kind of the format of choice at the moment. The kind of downside to that, I suppose, is the average time that people watch a video for, if they're not engaged, is about 7 seconds. So if you are going to do video, get your message in really quick at the beginning and try and hook your viewers into staying with you a little bit. Oh, right. Okay. So Marion's just got a question. Was going to ask about video. Any app you would recommend for subtitles too?
I don't know. Is it what I would see? The way that I would do it is, so I've got a PC and I download OneShot. I think it's called OneShot, which is a free piece of software. Okay. And you can put your storyboard in there, so you can have your video, and then you must be able to have slides, and then you type your text on the slides, and then the slides change throughout. That would be the way that I would do it. So it's I'm not used to subtitling. Yeah. But again, what you can do is you can get YouTube to subtitle also.
You can turn on the captioning in YouTube, and you can also do it in Zoom. So if you want to go into Zoom in your own room and record yourself talking talking to yourself in your own room, Zoom will work out the captions for you as well. So you could record that. Now, I don't know what file size that would be like. You'd need to look at that, but that's another option as well.
Yeah, no, that's a really good option. I mean, it is quite easy just to sit there and just chat to your screen as well, isn't it? I mean, as we're proving.
That's what we're proving. Yes.
Yeah. So other types of things you may well have on your website are audio, represented by the graph on the right. These would be MP3 files. Audio is a great format. It's very accessible. You can record the audio on, I've got an Android phone, and I've used various different apps in the past. But if I'm just looking to record something as a bit of a note to myself, I use the Easy Voice Recorder. So I use that for myself. If I was previously, I'd done a lot of podcasting, so I was using SoundCloud. I would post my edited content because it was half an hour long, so it had to be edited. You post that to SoundCloud, and I was doing that on a weekly basis. There's also another one which was called, has changed its name slightly, or Audio Boo. So and there are lots of different podcasting platforms out there, ways to share your content. That's if you're thinking about podcasting. Podcasting being producing, a program on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. You don't have to do that at all. No. You can just record some audio. Hey man, I'm talking over you. You can just record some audio and simply just upload it to your website as an MP3. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Mandy, over to you.
Thank you. And I've got an iPhone. Me and Neil differ on our opinions of
many things.
Many things. But there's voice recorder on there, or voice memo is one that I use. They're two really easy. Basically, you just find yourself a quiet space, press the button to record, press the button to stop, and you can trim it. And the reason I think audio is really good for a website is, especially for a therapist, especially if you're looking at offering telephone counselling or video counselling, allowing someone to hear your voice via the website is a good way of introducing them to you. So, if you're not going to do a video, possibly do some audio. And, with the podcast, it's more of a kind of a weekly monthly, you know, a regular thing.
A series, yeah.
A series, yeah. But with other audio, you know, if you use relaxation techniques with your clients, record it, put it on your website, and get them to download it if they want a copy. Or, you know, it's a really good way of using that content that you have in session. Obviously, take all out, you know, any confidential aspects and stuff like that. But it's a way of driving traffic to your website, and it's a way of using audio as a lead magnet as well. So what I mean by that is, you know, you could post locally in groups saying, oh, it's a free sleep meditation or a relaxation exercise, and get people to visit your website, which increases their awareness of you.
Brilliant. So moving on to the lovely flowers.
Illustrations.
Illustrations. Thank you, Andy. Illustrations. Yeah. So, you know, it may well be. It's, you know, you may well want to purchase or design or X, Y, and Z. Get somebody, commission an artist to actually produce some illustrations for you for the website. They don't have to be big and fancy. They can be quite simple. But they can be a great way of kind of, you know, drawing the eye in, and as you can see, they're very beautiful flowers. And it's going to, you know, depending on who your audience is, you know, can be very soothing and very calming, and kind of drawing people in. Other types of content you might want for your website, we've got a PDF here, which is portable document format. I mean, I'm assuming that most of us are familiar with a PDF kind of document. You can, if you use Word, you can save a Word document as a PDF very easily. And PDF is a kind of almost you know, universally accepted on websites and by browsers and by, you know, mobile phones. So if you're looking to produce a kind of, you know, your action list, your 10, you know, your action list, 10 points action list, and you want people to be able to download it. You've designed it a little bit. The last thing you want to do is save it in as an Illustrator file or this kind of file or that kind of file. You save it as a PDF. It's universal. People can download it whether they're on a Mac, whether they're on a Windows machine, or whether they're on a different operating system entirely. They can download those, print them off. So it's a really good format to upload content to your website in. Mandy. Yep. Have you anything more?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered most of the areas there. Yeah, and you may have your own ideas. You may already have some content. And so what we wanted to do was just have a moment and do, like, almost do a little bit of an audit. You know, what type of content do you think you need, and what have you already got? You know, have you got some lovely photographs? Have you got some video content? So just maybe take a minute or two and just reflect on what we've said, and make a few notes, because this is the type of thing that we're going to add to the action plan.
Yeah.
We should have some music, shouldn't we?
I can't hold the notes, but you know.
What song's that?
The Girl from Ipanema.
Oh, right, okay. It's before my time, that one.
That's what, yeah, thanks. That's what I think it is anyway. But yeah, and I mean, it's really important just not to get, don't let your content hold you back. I think lots of people get very hung up on it, and it's, you know, it needs to be 100% correct. And it's like everything in this life changes. You know, your living room, you move the furniture around in the living room, you redecorate, and you'll be doing, you know, sometime down the line, you'll do that with your website also. You might well like buy a new lamp, and that, you know, makes your whole living room look completely different. And you'll do that, the same kind of thing with your website. You'll go, actually, I think just a nice big image there, that would look great. So don't yeah,
Don't
don't get
overthink
too,
it.
yeah, don't overthink it. Yeah, I mean, and that can be a big issue. People just overthinking it. It needs to be 100%, and it's like, no, you're looking to get people in now. You know, even if it's 70 or 80%, then it can be doing that for you.
Yeah. And you know, at the end of the day, you could throw a website together that's white, you know, that's very clean, very crisp, very minimal. That might suit your style. You know what I mean? It doesn't, and it's not about having everything, not about having all of the bells and whistles, but about taking that first step. That'll do. That'll do for now. That'll do. And then I'll review it next week or next month or in a year's time, you know. But actually just getting something, it's like getting, like, you know, if you're painting a picture, it's a getting the first stroke on the canvas, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It is. It is. It's just, even, you know, some of the websites that I've come across, about, you know, or very few of them, admittedly, but some of them have just been, you know, Mandy Phillips, you know, and an email address, and that's all it is. And you're just kind of going, oh, okay, I'll just email them. But at least it's a way of finding, you know, it was a way of finding your email address, Mandy.
Yes. Okay. So recipe time.
Recipe time. So now, what we do is we take some video, and we take some salad, and we take some written content and some images. We mix them all around, and we come up with our creation. But it is very much so, as Mandy's written down here, a creation space. It is. So you've got all of these things. Now I build websites. I store. Mandy's nipping everywhere. So I store all the content in for a particular website. I store it in a folder, and I don't, as I said to Mandy the other day, I said I just put it on my desktop. I stick it in a folder, and that folder syncs to my cloud storage and backwards and forwards, so I can access it anywhere in the world if need be. But having a folder with all of your content in, so the image content, if you've had some illustrations, if you've got some audio, if you've got some video, having a folder, having it all in one place, that's great. If you're going to have a one-page website, then, you know, a kind of landing page, then have like a Word document which has just got, you know, this is an introduction to me and my services. Have we moved on?
Well, I'm just, you're kind of talking about, you're talking about this bit, so.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, just, so just have, you know, use a Word document, write your content in the Word document, and then there's a little bit of an about section about you, or about the premises where the services will be taking place.
When we were discussing this the other day, because we you know, Neil and I always meet beforehand. You wouldn't think so, because it's not very polished. But we meet beforehand. We talk about what we're going to talk about. And I was talking, you were talking about content creation, and I was saying, oh, you know, you've got Canva, you've got all these graphic design tools, and Neil was saying to me, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. That's what it stands for, which is not very person-centered, but anyway. Keeping it simple, I think, is a really good idea to go, even if it's a notepad, like a paper and pen notepad. If you've got an idea, just write it down and start to gather things together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the best, there we go.
Oh, it is Neil. Neil's now going to show you what a wireframe looks like.
There you go. This is the best website. Start off with a piece of this, and if I had one, a pencil. And just kind of just jot down some ideas, just kind of, and just, you know, I want an image here maybe, and you know, I want my contact details down here. Just draw something out for yourself. Have a look at other people's websites and go, okay, well, they've got a menu on it, so I'm going to want a menu on mine. They've got the telephone number. I'll need the telephone number on mine. That kind of thing. It's kind of start with a piece of paper, and then you can start, you know, move to your notepad, to writing to a Word document or a notepad, and start getting some information down like that.
And when we do that, and many of us who design websites do that, you know, if I'm meeting with a new client, I have a notepad, I have a pen, and I start to sketch as we're talking what they want. Are they going to need a shop? Will this fit in? You know, what elements are going to be in there? And it's like a pick and mix. You know, you can go, they want this, they want that, and we call that, it technically we call it a wireframe. So basically, we're just, you know, moving things around like a notice board, post-its on a notice board, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that helps both you and the person, if you're getting someone to design it for you, the person that you're working with, it helps that communication between you to go, oh, right, that's what you want. Instead of it all being in your head, it actually gets it out of your head and onto paper and starts some really good discussion about where you want to go.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful. The other thing to think about with that as well is, one of the things that we talk about in technology a lot, particularly in web development, is the minimum viable product, the MVP, which is, you know, the acronym for it. And the MVP is basically, what can you get away with doing to make it the minimum viable product? So can you do one page with a picture and your email address and a phone number, and will that do for now? And so, because we, you know, Marion said in the comments there, you know, overthinking, methinks that she needs to take that first step, because that's what stops us from taking the first step, second step, and third step. Is that actually, if we look at what's the minimum I need to get this live, then it's really basic. But once it is live, it's much easier then to take the next step as well.
Because you can see what you've done. You can, you know, it's there in front of you.
Yeah.
So just looking at some of the other bullet points on this. So yeah, there's which I failed to mention earlier. Stock photography or branded photography. Yeah, I mean, you can go to places like Mandy, what's it called? Unsplash. Thank you.
Good one.
Unsplash, yeah. So you can get stock photography from there. And
you can use Creative Commons. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, Creative Commons. No, that is in my notes, although I haven't got my notes anywhere. They're not visible. I need a third screen for my notes.
So the Creative Commons, if you're not aware of it, is basically those photographers have put their photography up on the internet, and they have different license restrictions on it. So they'll say they can use it for personal use, you can use it for one commercial use, or you can use it for many. And I mean, there's some amazing imagery for free. If you just Google Creative Commons free to use photography, you will find a huge amount. But you know, there's Unsplash. If you are using tools like Canva, they generally have stock photography built in. So, you know, there is loads of stuff out there. I wouldn't, unless there's a photograph that you really, really want, don't pay for it. You know, just use what you can find.
Yep. And we were going to cover, we've already covered really audio recorders on your phone, and video. Again, create the video on your phone and edit it. You know, get a little you know, a little slide at the beginning, maybe, you know, maybe not. You know, don't overthink it. If you're putting your content, if you're doing video content, you can put it on, and other types of content, you can put it onto other platforms. So things like YouTube and SoundCloud, you can either go there for music, or you can upload audio content to there. SlideShare for PowerPoint presentations, and Mandy's putting TED Talks there. If you're doing that, lots of this content, which is available on YouTube or on other websites, that's very easy to embed on your website. And in fact, if you go to, you know, YouTube, it tells you what the embed code is. And lots of these platforms, SoundCloud will tell you what the embed code is. And it's very easy just to copy it, paste it into your site, publish, and, you know, that video appears.
The benefit of doing that is that if you put a big video on your website, it's going to take
never a big video.
It's going to take a long time to download that page, and people are very impatient. I think you've got like 2/3 of a second. If the page hasn't downloaded, they're off. They're going to find somebody else. So if you've got it embedded on YouTube, you've just got a link to it. When the page loads up, it makes your website load faster. It makes it a slicker experience.
Brilliant. And we were also going to talk about Twitter and Insta streams, or a Pinterest streams, man. What's an Insta stream?
Instagram. So what you can do, if you have other social accounts like Twitter or Instagram, or you have a Pinterest board, that that, say for example, I don't know, let's say for example, you're working with a load of clients who around anxiety, and so you have a Pinterest board which has loads of motivational quotes on, or loads of things around anxiety that you might want to share with your clients. Well, you can put a link to that on, so you can be scrolling at night and adding things to your Pinterest board, and then if it's embedded in your website, that's actually updating it for you. You're not having to do anything else apart from that. Do you know what I mean? And but that's, obviously you've got to think about the channels that you're using, and what works for you and for your audience.
Yeah, and Instagram can look, depending on your site, Instagram can look absolutely fantastic embedded on your website, and it can really kind of like,
keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about storage before. You were saying, Neil, you save things on your desktop.
Yeah. I wasn't in my Dropbox.
Well, you said, I have a folder on my desktop. That's what you said. And we were disagreeing about Dropbox and iCloud and Office 365.
Yeah.
All of those, OneDrive. All of those things. But, for me, using a cloud-based system, and for you as well, means you access it from anywhere. So it just makes your stuff really portable. I think gone are the days of having it on your C drive, on your laptop, in the back bedroom at home, when actually you could be out in the coffee shop with your iPad, updating your website while you're having a brew, or, you know what I mean? It's very much...
Yeah, no, I mean, this was really around that kind of thing where, you're preparing content for your website. So it is about, kind of cloud storage and where you're storing the content for your website. So it may well be, you may well be sitting in the coffee shop and having a bit of an inspirational moment, or standing on the top of a hill, kind of going, right, I'll take that photograph, I'm going to put it into my folder, and I'm going to use that on my website.
Yeah.
Yep. Grading content, Mandy.
Can you see the notes?
No. No, it is late. So grading content. Yes, have a good idea of your target audience. So I mean, think about the content that you're putting on. So think about, who is this content on the website for? If it's you are a person that deals with young people, with young people's whatever, then you're not going to have a whole pile of like images of older couples sitting there with cups of tea, watching a tea dance. So think about what. Stop smiling, Mandy. Think about what you're using. Think about the kinds of content that you're putting on your website, and who is that, what's the audience for that. So think about the language that you're using as well. Is it kind of, are you a very formal, oh, hi, I'm a very formal therapist, and I do this and I do that and I do the other? Or are you, hi, sit back, tell me about yourself, kind of a person. So think about how you're writing your content as well, because what you're really doing is actually using that content to target your audience. Andy.
So when we talked in week 1 about your audience, we talked about this persona, didn't we? So, I have a persona of a lady named Sarah in terms of my wedding type business. And so Sarah's 35, and I've got a real picture in my head of who that is. And so my content is really tailored to her, knowing that the things that she would like. But other things that you need to think about when you're grading content, because you can end up with piles and piles of this stuff, and you have got to filter and say, well, what's the most important thing here? It's not about, a scattergun approach of throwing it all at the website and seeing what sticks. It's about really being, intentional about it. So there's a few questions that you can ask, and I'll put these in the catch-up email at the weekend. So, is the content appropriate to the service offered? So if you're offering therapy, you don't necessarily want Formula One cars on the website, unless your target audience is Formula One
drivers.
Yeah. Is it free of factual mistakes?
Yeah.
Is it authentic? Is it valuable to the reader? Is it free of spelling, punctuation and capitalization errors? Because that's something that people really pick up on. Is it the right length? So, have you done a 30-second video for the sake of it, but it hasn't really got any value to the viewer? And is it clear and easy to understand? And there are some really good websites around, actually, where you can write copy. We text is copy in the online world. You can write copy and you can drop it into this website, which I'll share, and it will tell you the reading age of what you've written.
Yeah, so the Fleisch reading age test.
Fleisch reading age test. So
yeah.
So if you're writing for a 14-year-old audience, but you're using loads of big words, that is probably not the best approach. So you want to be, using clear, simple language to get your message across, basically. And we came across an interesting statistic, which is that recent studies reveal over 63% of customers consider digital assets, such as photos, accompany a product as the primary purchase influencer. So that's 63%, 6 in 10 people consider that a photograph will make them make a decision about purchasing something. So, that really kind of tells you about the value of the images and the content on your site. So, Neil.
See, I always look at this over to you, and I'm just kind of like, oh. So the homework for this week is to develop your marketing. I'm going to enjoy doing this bit. Develop your marketing plan further.
Mm-hmm.
And then start to have a think about, do you have everything that you need to create your content? Do you have a phone that you can take photographs on? Do you have a suitable word processor? Sorry, it's a computer to work on.
A typewriter.
Do you have a suitable typewriter? Do you have all of those kind of tools that you're going to need if you're going, and then think, okay, well, what I need to do first is, if I'm going to be doing recording some audio, I need to have a look at audio apps for my phone, and just kind of, I'll have a look at those and see how they work. And then you find out how it works, and then you can move on to, okay, well, what's my script? What am I going to actually say in this audio recording?
Or am I going to wing it, which is what I usually do.
Yeah. This is, I'm not sure if this is a great tip, but it's something that I use all the time.
It's a tip.
Okay, it's a most excellent tip. Is often it sounds really strange, but often I will go for a walk. If I'm having trouble writing something, then I'll go for a walk. I'll take my phone and my headphones, which has got a microphone on it, and I'll audio record myself talking to myself about that particular thing. So if it's a particular website, then I need to do this, and I need to do that. Have they thought about this? Have they thought about that? Da, 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 da. And then listen back once you're in the office. Exactly the same kind of thing for, if you need to discuss your website with somebody, there's no better person than discussing it with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Probably get the best advice from yourself.
Yeah. You'd be harder on yourself.
And that is a really good tip, especially if you can imagine that person that you're talking to, and imagine talking to them, you know, and then have a look at what that, you know, what that comes out like. So the key thing I'd say here is baby steps. Don't overthink it. You know, if you've got an audio app or a video app, have a practice and have a play around. You know, this doesn't need to be really serious. You know, just kind of get familiar with the technology, get familiar with, you know, doing it, putting yourself out there. If you've got kind of a group on Facebook, you can feel free to use this group. If you want to have a practice and put something in the group that we can comment and give feedback on very gently, then, you know, we're very happy to do that as well. So I think that kind of covers the whole content piece. If you have any questions, we would love to hear them. If you're here in the room, you can type them in the comments. And if you're going to watch it on catch up, and I know some people do every week, so hi to you guys. And yeah, just kind of get cracking, set yourself a goal for next week to have 1 or 2 pieces of content. To pick a picture, you know, and you can go down a rabbit hole with Unsplash because the photography on it is amazing. So you can lose three days of your life. So don't do that. Give yourself an hour. So Marion saying, brilliant as usual, thank you. Thanks so much again. And thank you, Marion, for sharing it on one of the other groups. I saw that you'd done that, and that's really kind. Thank you. Ready to start and make that first step. Yay! That's really good news. So these 4 weeks have kind of been the foundation weeks, the audience, the marketing overview, the kind of technical overview, if you like, and content. And the next 4 weeks are going to be about, you know, have you chosen your platform? We're going to really start to get stuck into, you know, what are the elements of a website? What do you want in there? And we've not planned next week yet, so I can't say exactly what it's going to be, probably until Tuesday. But it will move us towards having that website live or updated, whatever your goal is, around the Christmas time mark. So that's all from us. It's all from me. It's all from him. I'm getting better at finding the button.
I thought it was down, actually. I've seen your mouse go off to one side. I'm sure it's at the bottom, Amanda. I'm sure it is.